Does it feel like your D&D game is missing something? Like your roleplay isn't quite clicking or your characters don't feel alive at the table? Not to worry. This 4-step storytelling technique will change how you play D&D and tell stories forever. It's called braided storytelling. Hey, I'm Scotty, I'm a writer, and I've been playing D&D and TTRPGs for over 20 years now. And I wish I'd learned this storytelling technique ages ago, because it helps you tell such vibrant stories and it's really easy to follow. So what is braided storytelling? It's weaving 4 key storytelling techniques together, those being action, description, dialogue, and interiority. When you bring these keys together, you immediately create so much more depth and immersion to your character moments. So let's break them down one by one and teach you how to use them effectively. Action is what your character's doing. Are they drawing their sword? Are they sneaking down an alleyway? Or are they sipping on their ale? This is pretty straightforward, but still, even small actions add to the story you're sharing at the table and help your fellow players and the DM visualize what's happening. Action by itself is probably the flattest way we can describe what's going on in the scene, so let's add some more color to the story by painting with our next technique, description. Action is what our character's doing, description is how they're doing it. This adds texture and flair, so we would say, my hand is shaking as I draw my sword, my fingers gripped tight on the hilt. Or my character is clumsily sneaking down the alley. You can see the glisten of tears in their eyes as they wipe their face with the back of their cloak and they stumble over some broken glass from some bottles. Much less flat. We can really visualize how the scene is transpiring and how our characters are living in that moment. Now let's get to the next technique, dialogue. Dialogue is what your character's saying out loud, and it gives you a chance to show off their personality. Do they have an accent? Do they have a different voice than yours? Are they gruff? Are they timid? What your character says and how they say it not only gives so much more depth to their actions, but gives people at the table the opportunity to engage and converse with you, which makes for such awesome moments. So with our examples, we might say, my character's hand shakes as I draw my sword, my fingers are white on the hilt, and I mutter under my breath, I've always hated spiders. Dialogue also gives you great opportunities to reincorporate poignant lines or phrases that can become iconic to your story. Think about how much more fun it is when your character lands the killing blow on the big bad and they say some pithy remark like, told you I don't miss. Way more fun than just rolling damage and asking to loot the body. P.S. Always loot the big bad's body. That's where the good stuff is. Now the last and most underutilized piece of braided storytelling, interiority. This is what your character is thinking or feeling. And giving your table a peek at what is going on in their inner world makes them feel so much more like a fully realized person. It's also where you can sneak in conflicts, doubts, desires, hopes that no one at the table knows about. So imagine a scene transpiring like, as I charge forward at the enemy line, I feel this pit of fear growing in my stomach and radiating up through my body. But then I hear my father's voice, and that fear fades, and I just see red. And I remember his last words to me. Remember, we fear no fight. How much more vivid and fun is that, instead of your character just saying, they're kind of worried, but they rush forward. Now, let's talk about weaving it all together. This is where the magic happens. We weave these 4 threads together to create immersive and powerful character moments. Suddenly, your dull scenes spring to life with rich, descriptive roleplay that puts us fully in your character's headspace. Action, description, dialogue, interiority. They don't have to go in that order. Let them flow together to create this rich tapestry to express how your character is reacting to the story. For instance, let's say our party is sitting around a campfire after a grueling fight. Instead of saying, my character cleans his axe and then goes to bed, we could use braided storytelling to say something like, my character is sitting next to the fire and he's almost in a daze as he's just wiping the same spot on his axe over and over. And he's remembering the fight, remembering the witch queen's words, how they got in his head and how sweet they sounded when they commanded him to attack his sister, and how overjoyed he felt to do her bidding. And with a crackle from the fire kind of snapping him out of that revelry, he'll look over to his sister and say, I don't think I can be trusted in fights anymore. See all those layered together? Action, description, so much interiority to put us in this conflicted headspace, and then dialogue to express it to the party so we all can react to it. And when we break it down into just hitting those 4 storytelling techniques, it's really not that hard to incorporate into our storytelling and for it to feel natural. Now, this level of RPing isn't going to be for everyone. Some tables like to roleplay less than others, and that's totally okay. However you and your table have fun is the right way to play. But if you're looking for a way to add more color to your role playing, braided storytelling is so perfect. And I'd also stress, you don't have to hit these 4 storytelling techniques in the same order or all at the same time. That's gonna get repetitive and old really fast. Mix it up, weave them together. Sometimes you're just giving a little interiority. Other times, some action with some description. Then you're just having a full-on fun conversation that doesn't need anything else except you guys just trading barbs at the table. So if you feel like your game's been a little flat or bland lately and you want to add more color to the world, use the braided storytelling technique. If you found this helpful, please hit like or subscribe or share it with your party. It really helps us grow. On this channel, we're all about exploring the ways to make your D&D games more fun and help you tell better stories. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.